Barbara Ehrenreich.
What Robert's talking about there is, we've seen a lot of the big picture in the financial markets, but you went out during the time when it was supposed to be really great, right? When the media was telling us that the economy was doing really well, and found that long before there was a meltdown, there had been a meltdown for vast sections of America and for millions of people. Talk to us about the fundamental underlying problems with this economy and the extent to which what we're seeing now is really just the, for lack of a better term, the symptoms sort of exploding.
Okay. You really do these sort of small questions. I don't even like to use the term the economy anymore. You know why? Because there's never been one economy that we share in this country. Now, whether there are two or three is another question, but there's not been one. And you're right, John. You mentioned that when I did the work in the different low-wage jobs to write the book Nickel and Dime, those were the boom years. You know? And what do you get? $7 an hour. You know, to bust your butt inside these low-wage jobs that are never going to have any promotion at all. That's what I was finding in the service sector that was available to me. Now, I have learned, and it's sort of impressed on me more and more in the last few weeks of doing research on this and talking to people, is that there are other ways, you know, that boom before the dot-com bust, and then right after the dot-com bust, and we came back to another, quote, boom, was in many ways devastating for poor and working class people. Wages only went up very slightly in the late 90s, but what was going up was housing prices, insanely going up, gentrification, etc. Another thing that was happening at the same time in the 90s, and I lay some of this in the lap of the Clinton administration, is a degree of police harassment of poor and working class people, especially people of color. You know, to absolutely new levels. I was just in LA and they're ticketing for jaywalking. Well, it depends what neighborhood you're in, obviously, for that. They're ticketing kids who are late to school and calling them truants. And you know what that ticket costs? $250. And nobody has $250 to pay that ticket. So next step, the arrest and the police record and so on. Downhill so you can help fill California's moving penitentiary system. Another thing that happened in those boom years is that there was so much money at the top, and Bob will comment on this, so much money, this huge bubble of wealth that grew at the top of America. It had to go somewhere. One of the places it went to was in credit, the credit industry, with dodgy, often fraudulent loans for poor and working class people. The subprime loans are just one example. But the whole financial industry, not satisfied to make money in the old ways, began to see America's poor and working class people as a new source of profit to be squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And I would say that was the immediate cause in some ways of the great meltdown that started in